Welcome to the Computer Literacy Center's online instructional video about creating a resume using Google Docs. My name is Eiley Cummings and I'll be guiding you through this tutorial. In this tutorial, we will use Google Docs to make a resume that follows the recommendations of career services and is visually appealing, well organized, and easy to understand. We will explore the career services resources, plan out what we're going to put in a resume, and then put a resume together using tab stops, headings, and a bulleted list. Using your favorite web browser, navigate to WSU Career Services website, weber.edu/careerservices. Click on Employment Resources, then scroll down to Employment Guides PDFs and click on Resume Guide. I'll be referencing this guide through the rest of the tutorial, so you may want to download the guide and keep it open if you're going to follow along. This is the first page of the Resume Writing Guide. It provides a general outline to follow when crafting a resume. You are eventually going to format a resume the same way the one on this page is formatted, but first you need to figure out what information you're going to need to include. The guide suggests that you include some personal identification and contact information, your level of education, what work experience you have, and some of your other skills that may help you get hired. So, before you continue with this tutorial, you may want to gather this information so you can reference it as you put your resume together. Once you've decided what information you're going to use, open up a blank Google Doc to start building your resume. The Resume Writing Guide uses narrow margins, so begin by setting those up in the File tab under Page Setup. Narrow margins are generally ½ an inch, so change the margins from 1 to 0.5 in all the boxes and then click OK. Now that you've done that, you're ready to build a header similar to the one found on the Resume Guide. This professional-looking header is called a letterhead, and it should include your name, address, and any other contact information you want your employer to have, such as your email address or phone number. Begin by typing your name at the top of the document. I'm creating this resume for an imaginary person named Hank, so I'll start with his name at the top. Now center align the text by clicking on the Center Align button in the toolbar and increase the font size of your name to 24 points by clicking in the font size box and typing 24. That looks great. Now you're ready to move on to the contact information. First, start a new line and decrease the text size to something more manageable. A 12-point font should work well here. Now, click the Left Align button to move the insertion point back to the left side of the page and type your address. To set this up like the Resume Guide, you'll need a way to get some information aligned with the right side of your document. This is a perfect opportunity to use tab stops. Type out your email next to your address, click in the ruler and select Add Right tab stop and slide it to the right margin. To move your email address to the right, place your insertion point before your email and press the Tab key. Now it is right aligned. When you're finished, move your insertion point to the end of the line after your email and press Enter. Your email address will have a hyperlink added to it. You can remove this link if you don't want the formatting to show up when you submit your resume. To do so, click on the email address, then click on the Remove Link icon at the right of the box that appears. Now put your phone number under your address, press Tab, and use this last space to refer to your LinkedIn profile, your website, or some other relevant information. Hit Enter when you're done and make sure you remove any hyperlinks here too. Now you need to add a line to separate the letterhead from the rest of the resume. Docs has an option to insert a horizontal line. It will place it one space below where your insertion point is. To add the line, position the insertion point at the end of the line of text above where you want the letterhead line. Now go to Insert and click on Horizontal Line. There should be a line under your letterhead now. Now it's time to get started on the part of your resume that tells hiring managers why they should hire you. Following the pattern in the Resume Guide, start by listing your education. Place your insertion point below the horizontal line on your letterhead, then hit Enter one more time to put a little more space in there. Now type the word Education in all caps. This is the heading for the Education section of your resume, and including it will make your resume appear more organized and professional. To format this as found in the Resume Guide, keep the font at 12 points, but bold it to match the heading in the Resume Guide by highlighting it, then either clicking the bold icon or pressing Ctrl-B on your keyboard. This formatting does not actually make it a heading, but it is what you want your headings to look like. To save it as a heading style, come up to the Styles menu where it says Normal Text, click on the drop-down arrow, hover over Heading 1, and select Update Heading 1 to match. The heading style is now saved. This provides two benefits. The text is now an actual heading, and you can reuse your custom heading style throughout the rest of your document to format future headings. Now you're ready to start adding things to your education section. Hit Enter to go to the next line of text. You want your points in this section to be a little indented from the heading, so you're going to need to move the first line indent marker, which is the blue rectangle above the blue triangle on the ruler on this line of text. Set it to 1/2 inch by clicking on the first line indent marker and sliding it over to the 0.5 mark. Now add your educational background here. Include any degrees or certifications you have that you feel would be relevant to the job you're applying for. You should include your graduation dates and GPA to the right of the degrees or certifications they apply to. To do this, press Tab on your keyboard to use the tab stop you created earlier, then type the date related to the degree or certification. When you're done typing everything out, hit Enter and slide the indentation marker back to the left margin and bold the names of any degrees or certifications as seen in the resume guide to make the degree or certification stand out from the information attached to it. Great, now hit Enter again and begin the section on related coursework. This section uses a lot of the same principles as the education section. Start by clicking on the drop-down arrow on the Styles menu and then selecting Heading 1. Now type out the heading Related Coursework in all caps. Hit Enter and adjust the first line indent marker to 0.5 like you did for the education section. This section is a little different because it has categories that relate to the main types of courses you took in college or trade school. I'll type communication courses. This section also uses left tab stops to create columns to organize your course lists. Set those up by typing out the second major type of courses you took. I'll type marketing courses. Now click in the ruler and select Add Left Tab Stop. Slide it over to 4.25, then put your cursor in front of the category name and hit Tab. Now it's aligned to 4.25. Now bold and italicize those category names to match the resume guide by highlighting the text and clicking on the bold and italics buttons in the toolbar. Add names of courses you took that correspond with the category names, and then you're ready to move on to the work experience portion of the resume. This part follows the same basic principles as the last two sections, except that the resume guide uses bulleted lists instead of regular lines of text. Set up the section heading by clicking on the drop-down arrow on the Styles menu again and selecting Heading 1. Type out Work Experience in all caps and then hit Enter. You won't need to adjust the first line indent marker for this section as bulleted lists automatically indent. Type the name of the job you are currently working at or were most recently employed in. Press Tab twice to have your text right aligned and type the dates you were employed. I'll type May 2019 to present. Hit Enter, then type the name of the company the job belongs to and hit Enter again to start a new line of text. Now for the bulleted list. Click on the bulleted list icon in the toolbar. If you don't like the circle bullets, click on the drop-down arrow next to the icon and select the style of bullets you like. Write a short sentence about an aspect of the job. I'll type Collaborate with marketing teams to create successful marketing campaigns. Since this is a bulleted list, you don't put periods at the end of these short statements. Write out a few more bullets for this job, then hit Enter 3 times to start a new job entry. Repeat the same steps you did for the first job entry, and then hit Enter 3 times to start a new section. Lastly, go back and bold each job title and italicize each company name. Now we'll add a Skills section. Click on the drop-down arrow on the Styles menu and select Heading 1. Type out Skills in all caps, then press Enter to start a new line. Adjust the indentation marker to 0.5 and type out a skill you have. For example, I'll type Spanish language fluency. Press Tab to start a second column of skills. I'll type Social perceptiveness. Press Enter to add another skill in your first column and continue with this pattern until you have 4 or 5 skills listed in each column. Now add a Service and Leadership section. Set up the heading the same way you did the others, then hit Enter and adjust the first line indent marker to 0.5. Type out the title of the position you held in an organization or club, add a comma, type the name of the organization or club, add another comma, and type the city, then the state. Press Tab until your insertion point is right aligned and type out the years you were involved with the organization or club. Now go back and bold the position title by selecting it and pressing Ctrl-B on your keyboard or clicking on the bold icon in the main menu. Follow these same steps to add other service and leadership positions you've held that relate to the job you're applying for. There you go! Now you have a resume formatted like the one in the resume guide. In this tutorial, you used Google Docs to create a resume similar to the one recommended by Career Services. First, you created a letterhead using tab stops and a horizontal line to showcase your name and contact information. Then, you organized the body of your resume using headings and bulleted lists. For more information about Google Docs and other computer literacy topics, visit our website at weber.edu/clc.